So today we're going to talk about Nakiris. We're going to talk about why you might need one in your own kitchen, what they're for. You know, maybe you've seen them, you've wandered through Knifewear, you've been on the website, you think it looks like it's really good for meat and bones, but in reality you'd use this guy for most of your veggies, leafy, dense, whatever. So we've got a Nakiri here. The word Nakiri means leafy vegetable cutter, or some version of grass cutter, leaf cutter, I think it means. You know, the rectangular shape is going to make you think of a European cleaver, a knife that you would usually see a butcher kind of swinging through bones, chopping up, stewing meat, stuff like that. But in reality, this fairly thin knife is best for doing all your veggie prep. So one of the reasons that I really like a Nakiri is because of how flat the edge is. Like if you're looking at the cutting board, most of this knife is coming in contact with every swipe. So when I'm working in the shop or I'm kind of teaching someone how to use a knife, I find that a Nakiri is a really good option for anyone who likes to chop like this as opposed to this. So think of any of those jobs where you might do that kind of, sometimes it's called a push-pull cut, a sliding cut, whatever. It's just one way to do it. But that's where I find it really excels. A lot of people like to use them because they've got a little bit of a generally speaking, they have a taller blade than other knives. You could use it for, kind of like you've seen a Chinese cleaver for picking things up, moving them around. You want to make sure that you're not scraping the edge like any knife, but that added height makes that task a lot easier. So if you get really frustrated with food kind of sticking to your knife, when you've got this taller blade, you can see how the carrots kind of crawl up the face of the blade and then fall off with enough space where you can keep working. I find that pretty handy. The hammering on this particular knife helps with that too. Sometimes you might want to use a Nakiri for like a bigger veggie, like a cabbage or a big mean sweet potato, something like that. If you think back to that really flat profile I was talking about before, a Nakiri really kind of stops those little, I've called them like paper dolls in the past, or it's like kind of, I think Kevin and Nathan like to call them an accordion vegetable. But when the whole knife touches the cutting board at the same time, you can kind of count on having made a clean cut between the strips of pepper here, and they're not all gonna stick together as you might find with a knife that rocks a bit more. I know that I said before that I prefer a Nakiri for that kind of push-pull cut and less of a rocking one. If you find yourself really wanting a Nakiri, but you do tend to do like a rock chop all the time, then your best bet, when you head into the shop, just ask for one that's got a little bit more of a curve to the profile. This one, for instance, does, I can rock with it fairly easy. For instance, if you wanted a super flat one, the Moritakas make a super flat one. Some makers are kind of trying to accommodate that Western style of cooking, and they do add a bit of a curve to it, but it's not really why I pick one, but you could get away with it. Now, we talked about why you might want a Nakiri, but who might want a Nakiri could be, it's someone who does a ton of meal prep on the weekends, getting ready for the week coming up. It's maybe it's someone working in a big restaurant and they're just on top of veg prep all day. Maybe it's someone just looking to add to the collection. Anyone could make good use of it. If you're primarily vegetarian, look at Nakiris over Gyutos and Santokus. Okay, so far I've been using this one from Toroku Sakai. We've got a VG10, a little bit longer than usual, a little bit taller than most. Again, makes a wicked gift. It's not going to give anyone a hard time. A lot of fun to use, real easy to take care of, and it's real pretty too. Maybe you want something a little bit shinier, a little bit lighter, because this one, the previous knife had a bit of a kind of a Western hybrid Japanese handle, whereas here we've got a very traditional Wa handle. The knife itself is made out of something called SLD, which in some cases you would call it a semi-stainless steel, but what that means is that it might build a little bit of a patina, but it's still really easy to care for. This is, you know what, it's no surprise here at Knifewear that we love Masashi Yamamoto. This is from his Kuroshu line. SLD, like the Ichigo, quite a bit more effort going into this one, as you can probably tell. What I like about it is that all this Damascus on here, you can actually feel the texture of it, and it does quite a bit for helping food fall off the knife. A Masakage Zero, made by Takeshi Saji, you know, out in Fukui, is Aogami Super with a stainless steel jacket. So the only carbon steel Nakiri that we've looked at so far today. It's also the only one with a Western handle. So this knife is perfect for someone with big mitts. Masakage Nakiris generally are a fair bit taller than everyone else's, and then this Western style ironwood handle is going to feel really good in a big hand, especially for someone used to a more European style knife. And thanks for hanging out, learn about Nakiris with me. If you have any questions, you can always leave a comment. You can shoot us an email at hello@knifewear.com. All of these knives, if there's one you liked, you're going to find links below. Let us know. If there's anything you want to talk about next time, just shoot us a message.